Okay, good evening, Commissioners, staff, and guests. Thank you for joining us for the May 14th, 2026 regular meeting of the Fair Oaks Ranch Planning and Zoning Commission. The time is 6:30 p.m. and we'll begin with a roll call. When I say your name, please say here present. Chairperson Shauna Verrett.
Here.
Vice Chairperson David Horwath is not present. Commissioner Linda Tom.
Here.
Bobby Barnes is not present. Eric Beilstein is not present. Joe Markling
Present.
and Bobby Bailly.
Bobby, 2 here.
With 4 of 7 members present, a quorum is declared.
Thank you. Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. So we're going to start with the Citizens and Guest Forum to address the Planning and Zoning Commission. I don't think anybody signed up.
No, ma'am.
So if you would like to speak, please sign the attendance roster located on the table in the front entrance foyer of the Public Safety Training Room. In accordance with the Open Meetings Act, council or committee may discuss or take action on any item which may not discuss or take action on any item that has not been posted on the agenda, and speakers shall limit their comments to 5 minutes each. So since we don't have anybody that has signed up, we're going to move on to consideration and discussion items. And the consideration and possible action recommending approval of the Post Oak Subdivision Phase 1 final plat, establishing a total of 65 lots from the applicant and property owner FAR Project SPV and SPV LPC. I'm going to turn it over to Jessica. She's at the podium.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair Verrett, Commissioners, and attendees. My name is Jessica Relucio, City Planner for the City of Fair Oaks Ranch. This item begins on page 3 of the agenda packet, and the presentation begins on page 19. The purpose of the item is for the Planning and Zoning Commission to consider and take action on a recommendation to City Council on the Post Oak Subdivision Phase 1 final plat. How did we get here? On January 8th, 2026, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended conditional approval of the very same subdivision for the preliminary plat. Then on February 5th, City Council took final action and conditionally approved the preliminary plat. Soon I'll cover those conditions. First, for context, let's review the project itself. The plat is located within the Post Oak subdivision, which is located north of the intersection of Rolling Acres Trail and Ammon Road. The total area of Post Oak is 344 acres, and the zoning is neighborhood residential, which requires a minimum of 1 acre single-family lots. This plat is the first of 4 phases with a total of about 112 acres. Next, as part of the review criteria, there's the development agreement, which states the 2014 Chapter 10 subdivision regulations are applied, with the exception of the minimum lot frontages, drainage and erosion control standards, and tree mitigation for protected trees per the development agreement. The plat includes 60 single-family residential 1-acre lots and 5 easement lots. Here are the conditions of approval for the preliminary plat, organized by plat notes or design edits completed by the developer. For the aesthetic/plat note edits, the developer corrected the mayor's signature block, removed private streets from any notes, corrected labeling such as green belts and drainage easements, addressed all comments and obtained approval of the stormwater management plan from the engineering manager, and corrected the text for use of a temporary easement. Finally, for the design edit, the developer revised the Block 7, Lot 6 street frontage length to a minimum of 120 feet. Next, on June 4th, City Council will consider the final plat, and prior to recordation of the final plat, the construction plans must be approved by the engineering manager. Based on the findings presented and applicable review criteria, staff recommends approval of the final plat for Post Oak subdivision Phase 1. At this time, I can take any questions, and following discussion, the commission may consider the following motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have any comments or questions?
I have a question. Page 14, map, bottom lot 3 seems to have a frontage of only 81 feet. Doesn't seem to fit the minimum of 100. I don't think there's another street on the other side of it that would qualify, so that's the only one I see that doesn't meet the criteria.
Let me see. What plat sheet is
That's
that?
14, page 14 of 24, sheet 3 of 7.
3 of 7. Okay. C9. So that looks like it's the first two, hard to see it. It's right. So we have to add in the curvatures there, C9 there, and L6.
Yes, if you add C9 with the 81, it equals to 122.76.
Right.
And then
So-
if you look at, I'm sorry, Jessica.
That's okay.
If you look at sheet 2 of 7, it shows the remaining portion of Terry Hill
Oh, shoot.
bottom, or if you scroll up, right there. So that's the bottom portion of it. They just put the match line right in the middle of the street. You add those distances of that lot 5, it equals 314.32. The length of all the lots.
And the Cs are provided in the curve table on the cover page, and that
Correct.
is able to tell you what that length is. So
Okay.
you add it with what
Because I see in
number.
other places where they give 2 measurements because there's a carve out and all this, and this one didn't have anything that I could see straight up, so.
Right, yeah.
yeah.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
first of all, do we have somebody present from the developer or the engineer? Is that
Yes, we do.
Okay, this may be a question for you, sir. If we can zoom down to the 81108, if it's confusing to us, I think once platted, it would be confusing the property owner or anybody else. Is there a way you can delineate a little better those 81.08 feet? A label, maybe it's showing what C9 equals to?
Footnote or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can take a look at putting something visible on there, that way you don't have to flip through pages, if that makes it easier and visible.
Would be comfortable with
Yeah, I just think,
staff.
I just think, again, somebody else seeing this, we
Yeah,
hear it,
Yeah.
is gonna jump to that and say, you passed something that doesn't appear to meet the criteria. I mean, I'm just looking at the lengths of the next one and that one. If it's drawn to scale, it looks like it should be over 100, but it just doesn't come straight to my eye.
And I'm a licensed engineer, but I'm not a surveyor. I wanted to be an RPLS, but I'm not picking on RPLSs, but they may pick it up and run with it. That just, you never know, so. And if staff was okay after this meeting, once they sign as engineering manager, you'd be okay with them approving?
Yeah, yeah. Just I mean, I'm looking for stuff that jumps out at me and doesn't make sense to a normal person that's gonna look at this and go, that doesn't make sense. Figured there was a reason, another street on the other side or something else, so. That was my only question.
Madam Chair, the only other statement I had, I just wanted to make sure that my fellow commissioners understood that I did have some questions on the labeling of the drainage easements, permanent, temporary. I did request clarification from staff, and I did CC Madam Chair. That's kind of what I like doing, so it's very transparent. And staff came back with a perfectly good explanation. I wasn't here in January, so one, I apologize to you on the 8/10. But I have no questions after I'm perfectly fine with staff's response, and I'm good with what I see.
So just kind of, it was about the retention ponds or in the drainage. So the question was about the green belt and stuff. And so the green belt, there's no drainage easement in these areas, and they keep it natural with no improvement or maintenance. It stays natural. So that was basically the answer to his email. Any other comments or questions from commissioners? Okay. Any,
Nope.
anyone in the audience have any comments, questions? Okay. Can I please have a motion to recommend approval of the final plat for Post Oak subdivision Phase 1?
So moved. Recommend as presented.
Thank you. Is there any other further discussion from the commissioners? All right, it has been moved and seconded to recommend approval of the final plat for Post Oak subdivision Phase 1. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes have it and the motion carries. Do we have any commissioners that want to add anything to future agendas? Okay.
Record time meeting.
I am going to call for adjournment. There are no more items on our agenda. The time is 6:41 and we are now adjourned.
Thank you, sir, for being easy.